Hello everyone, my name is Mirna and on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, welcome to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather daily to see the lectures and interviews organized by Mindalia TV. Today with us, we have the great pleasure of having Coach Dianiluz. Coach Dianiluz is an empowerment coach who specializes in spiritual and ascension coaching. But before starting with her, we want to remind you that Mindalia's mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness in the planet, and you can help us by subscribing to our channel, leaving us a positive comment down this video, or sharing it with someone that you know that is going to benefit of the content that we're going to be talking here today. Also, while live streaming, we have an active chat screen you're going to be seeing on my side if you are on a computer, but if you are on a smartphone, you're going to be seeing that under the video. Through there, you can interact with us. We also want you to collaborate with Mindalia with your own valuable content, and for that, you can go to our website. On the top, you're going to find the link. It says Collaborate with Mindalia, and that link takes you to a form that you can fill out for our technical team to be getting in contact with you. You can collaborate with Mindalia in English through Mindalia TV English, but you can also do it in Spanish through Mindalia Televisión and Portuguese through Mindalia Televisa. Visit our different channels and platforms. Follow our Facebook pages, Instagram accounts. With that, you are not only helping us reach as much people in the planet as possible, but you are also keeping yourself updated with the amazing information that we have there for you on a daily basis. I'm not delaying this any further, and I have the great pleasure of saying welcome to Mindalia Coach Dianiluz. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. Welcome and to this beautiful space where the angels also share with me the light and love. Happy Summer Solstice. Thank you, Minna, for giving me the opportunity to come to the audiences of Mindalia TV on such a special day.
We are super happy to have you, Coach Diani. And yes, happy Summer Solstice. Can we start this brief conversation? My very first two questions. The first one is, what is spiritual ascension coaching? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure, of course. Well, I began my journey as a coach in 2008, and at that time I was working basically with a focus on empowerment, personal empowerment. Of course, I discovered through my journey that personal empowerment doesn't happen unless you have a very strong connection with your spirit, and then with a higher spirit. So what I found through my work is that many people are very connected to their bodies, very connected to the mind through the intellect, but the connection to the spirit needed to be strengthened. As I started developing all the tools and all the work, I began my own development as well. Just kind of a two-way street where I am helping people, but they're helping me. And that is a law. It's a law of correspondence. We give and we receive. So the more I was devoted to my mission, the more my spiritual life was expanding as well. So last year, I came to the United States, 2017, after Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. And in that experience, I was kind of put into hold because we evolve. And sometimes we want to evolve and never stop, but sometimes you have to stop, like the butterfly in the cocoon. So I was in my cocoon last year.
Perfect place to start a new
Yay,
right?
You know, it's like after all those years of working, I was placed in that pause. And in there, I received that it was time to help people understand the changes that are happening in the planet, and also the fact that their spiritual power becomes first. Is that old saying of seek the kingdom first? That beautiful part of the scriptures that is key for us to understand how not only can we have personal power, we can have universal power.
Wow.
Is that clear?
Yes. it kind of feels absolutely clear. And I love the fact that you talk about the reconnection with the spirit and that source of inner power that we all have. And we tend to forget that is there. Why are we so disconnected to our own source, which I understand according to my own beliefs that inner power that we have is nothing but God's power, that we share a source with him.
Thank you. That is an awesome question. And it's funny because the first thing that came to my mind was this. This is our first source of connection, but it's also a first source of disconnection.
Okay.
Because we have created a technology that brings us all together. So there is an aspect of union in us being connected through technology, but also there is an aspect of me getting so into the technology that then I forget that I need time in silence to connect with source. So the first thing that I can think immediately, from our daily lives is that. The second, and going a little deeper into inside, what is happening inside of us that creates this connection? Well, that is fear. The energy of fear. Where is that coming from? Well, we were taught, at least in my case, and I want to stress that I am loving and forgiving of all the people who taught me this. I was taught that, I had to fear God. I was taught that I was not good enough to have his power. I was taught that I was not a powerful person, that I needed to sort of like go around the world and see if I was doing good, to see if I would be rewarded. Part of the awakening or the process of ascension is us understanding that those limited beliefs that we might have learned are things that we can release, are thoughts that we can release. The fear can be released. But before you do that, you have to acknowledge that you have a relationship with God that is based on fear. The moment you realize that, then you can say, okay, I'm going to switch into love. The moment you give that command, it's like a let there be light, happy summer solstice. The moment you give that command, everything in the universe, Paulo Coelho style, everything in the universe is going to work on your behalf for you to be able to understand, assimilate, integrate love, which is what God is. So basically, I would say that in those are two major obstacles right now.
I think I definitely agree with you in the reason of the disconnection. I also think that yes, we all were taught, or most of all, we were taught about that fear-based connection and seeking for redemption. But I kind of have forgiven as well. I think it was the level of consciousness we had at the moment that was all there was available. That was our cap, right? Until we evolved into the beings we're being, or at least we're trying to reach a critical mass.
Well, I think that religion is like baby food.
Yes, why not?
You
And it
cannot
served
come
its
into
purpose.
Yeah, you cannot be born and start eating steaks, hamburgers, and fries. You need baby food. So when you're born into this planet, you need to be taught a relationship with God in a way that you can assimilate it. And that is the tool that we had in the planet at that given moment. That doesn't mean you're going to spend your whole time eating baby food. The problem is that people don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
They go on Sunday, sit down in there, listen to somebody else that did the work, tell you what it's about.
They either did the work or they know how to make other people think they did the work.
Yeah, well, to be
We're gonna leave it there.
well, whatever subject that you speak for an hour, you need to read about it or think about it or connect about it, whether it's coming from love or fear. So you are the one who needs to sit in discernment, not only with religion, also with values. You need discernment with relationships. You need discernment. Discernment is a power. It's a spiritual gift. Actually, in Corinthians, it talks about that. You need discernment to understand if what I'm listening, what I'm hearing, what I'm getting in here, including what I'm saying today,
Absolutely.
works for me or not.
Wow.
And discernment is very different from judgment. Judgment is that which is happening out there is a bad thing. And I'm putting judgment out there. In here, when I turn into discernment, I'm thinking, okay, so what this person is saying, does that work for me? How does my body feel when I'm hearing this message? Am I enlightened? Am I drained? Am I scared? Am I joyous? Am I feeling free? And in that aspect of us taking, again, empowering ourselves, being in control of my growth, whether it's spiritual or intellectual, because we were taught to sit down in a classroom as well and believe everything the teacher was saying. So the moment I go and I think about these things and I start looking for information in the internet or inside of me through meditation, contemplation, and I receive answers, as I honor those answers that make me feel good, peaceful, connected, enlightened, I am in the place where I need to be, which is center. And centeredness is connection to source.
Absolutely. Wow. I
Mhm.
couldn't agree with you more. I'm trying to bring a piece of something that could, give us some sparkle, but no, you're saying everything.
Thank you, my love.
At
Thank
least,
you.
at least in that particular aspect. Let me just go with what concerns us today. We wanted, since you know a lot about the subject, to talk about the summer solstice. We are again in this wonderful time of the year. We're switching from spring to summer, and all the planets and our own planet is aligned into this natural phenomenon called the summer solstice. We're going to be having the longest day of the year, right? It's the
Today.
time in
All right.
which the sun has the longest time shining in each part of the planet hemisphere. In this side, it's going to be the longest day, and
Mhm.
the south side of our planet, it's going to be the shortest day and the longest night. So they're going to be celebrating the winter solstice.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the energies that are activated in our planet with this phenomenon? How can we take advantage of it?
Well, first of all, the sun is light, but the sun is also life. So as we connect to the energy of the longest life day, your body as well is receiving the message of health. First of all, I am in health. I am connected to this beautiful nature realm where I am being fed light and love and health through just a natural process of the planet. However, this particular summer solstice is bringing an incredible amount of energy of light that probably has never been felt in the planet before. Why? Because we are in the middle of a process of what we call awakening. What is awakening? Well, we're receiving information through these waves of light. As we start receiving more and more and more, a phenomenon happens. Remember that when we were born, we sort of like didn't remember anything except the moment that we were born and the life that we had in that lifespan. All right.
Many people do that.
For us who believe in reincarnation, we know that we've been here many times, many times, many times, many times. And my DNA is storing all the information of all the lives and all the things that I did and all the karma that I need to pay and all the gifts that I had and all the relationships that I had in those previous lives. Now, I don't remember when I come into the planet, but something magnificent is happening. We're awakening. What is that? The veils have been lifted. So now we can find information. Now we can see. Now we can remember. Now we know more about soulmates and twin flames. And we know more about forgiveness as a tool of redemption. And we know more about things that before we sort of didn't know. And you see that the increment of people looking for meditations, yoga classes, gurus, books, Mindalia TV. Increase around the planet. Why? Because the veils are being lifted and we are seeing what? The truth. Let there be light is an invocation for us to be able to see the truth. It's sort of like what was happening in that Matrix movie.
Okay.
I think it's the best analogy I can give you.
It's always the best analogy. It's for some sort of reason it always comes to the conversation.
Please watch, for more information on Ascension and Awakening, watch the Wachowski brothers. They had this 20 years ago.
Exactly. What pill are you going to be taking today?
Exactly. There you go. So once you sort of like awaken from the system, once you are out of that illusion of a linear life that is only this life, and you say, oh, there are more dimensions to me. There's more of me in terms of all the souls that I can connect with. Oh, I cannot only have one career. This is a big one. And that's why the academia is kind of like falling apart too. We were told we had to study one thing and do that thing for the rest of our lives. And most of us went like, what? what? I am multi-talented. I want to do all these things in one lifetime, not just one. So all these veils are being lifted, and we can see all the things that we used to believe that now are changing. The influx of light that is coming this particular summer, in this beginning with this summer solstice, and then getting incremental with the eclipses that are coming in July, has the power to lift those veils, to open your eyes, to let you see a reality in your life that is different from what you used to believe. So yes, this is like the yellow pill.
You know how I see it, Diani?
Yeah.
Basically, I work in analogies. My brain always works in comparing
Yes.
one thing to the other one. And the way I see it is that we are basically receiving a software update.
Oh yeah, download.
We're
Absolutely.
downloading
Big
an update
download.
that's going to allow us to actually process more information in a most efficient way so far.
Beautiful. And I love that because it speaks the language of the millennium. And I want to make a note here because probably this is something that people need to understand. And this is not me. This is Dolores Cannon, the work of this beautiful hypnotist that we had in the planet for a long time, working with the people that we will be seeing arising at this time.
Okay.
Millennium Children, and when I say children, I'm talking about people born from 1990, 2000 to this present moment. They carry the DNA that is vibrating with the higher frequencies that we are receiving right now. So for them, this is really easy to assimilate, and it's easy for them to see the truth.
They already basically have this.
They came
Have
with
the
a
hardware
chip.
needed to process the software. I can only say it that way, and that is how I have been
Beautiful.
able to stop judging older people. Because I
Mhm.
used to be very judgy before, and I was like, oh, they don't understand. And all of a sudden, I was like, they can't.
They don't
Even if
have the
they
chip.
wanted to, they that's their programming. Even if they wanted to, they can compute, they can process or digest certain information.
Mhm.
And what are less in those that in past times really had the capacity. Those were like very limited items in the market.
Exactly. And that is because the old generation, the generation that was born in the Pisces era, we're moving into the Aquarian era, that generation has the old DNA. So the people who are working, like light workers like myself and yourself, who were, well, no, sorry, I apologize. You weren't born in my age. In my time.
Who knows?
In
Who knows
between.
that? Who can say yes
But
or no?
anyway, my beautiful light workers who were born in the 50s and the 60s and even the 70s, when you come into this work, you need to be adjusted. Your DNA needs to be shifted. And that's part of the well, I probably it's not an obstacle. I would like to call it a challenge for us because when you are being adjusted, you need to stop. So when you, for example, come out of the matrix, it's like, again, that first adjustment period, you cannot just go Neo and start, different again.
Yeah, just keeping bullets and
Yeah, no, yeah, thank you. It's an adjustment. You need to remember little by little who you are. And that's the best example. And that is beautiful because part of what happens is that the love that we are is protecting us from getting overwhelmed or having a crashing of the system because it's too much information coming in.
it's like an organ transplant. You get
It's
an organ, and an organ you need to rest until it's that you are sure that it's not going to be rejected. Because people
exactly.
can actually get a little bit loose in the mind.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a new toy because this light that you're receiving is activating beautiful gifts. It's activating your clairvoyance and clairaudience, your capacity to see and listen and receive messages. It's activating your dreams. So many of you are going to have very intense dreams during the summer. Some of them are things that are coming from your subconscious that needs healing. Some of them could be interaction that you're having in other dimensions. Some of them could be memories from past lives of things that you need to release or cleanse or just heal. So part of what we need to be doing at this given moment is to be very present because, like I said, this influx of light is information. Now, we love it when we get an email. But what happens when you get fired? What happens when your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife decides that the relationship no longer works for you? What happens when the children decide one day, well, I don't need you anymore, I gotta go? Okay, that shift of information is happening in your emotions. And I want to talk a little bit about this because this is most of what's going to rise this summer. Information that is coming as a form of emotions is going to rise in your experience. You are going to experience very intense experience. Oh, again, experience. Raciel, come on. Very intense situations that are going to put you in a place of what is happening. Stop. What is going on? Breathe. Think. Observe. Our tendency is like when fear strikes, you have to react. This is a summer of responding instead of reacting.
Wow.
So we need to slow down significantly. Nothing that happens in your experience right now is out of control. Everything is part of a plan. So as these experiences show up and come to you, you need to understand that you, and this is the let there be light maximum experience. This is the I am light part. You are the creator of this experience.
You're giving yourself your own test.
Exactly.
Testing time.
So much easier to say, they're testing me and fall into the victim archetype. You don't want to go there. We've been there so long. I mean, we know the pain that comes with victimhood. We're actually moving from that archetype into the hero. And what does a hero do with a challenge? They take it on. They say, I can do this. We've got this. There is something about this experience that is helping my soul expand and grow. So it's all about soul growth this summer, understanding the information that is coming to us, regardless of what level of consciousness you're in. Because it's all about understanding one thing, love. How do I resolve with love? How do I reconcile with love? How do I release with love? Because there were going to be people that you're not going to be able to continue having a relationship with.
Basically, it's just reality is falling apart. You're no longer going to be belonging to the same physical and space.
It's a breakdown, yeah, of the structures that we knew and the emergence of something amazing that is coming. And the more you are connected to the fact that this is not happening to you, it's happening through you, the more you can take an active part of saying, today I'm going to go to work and I am going to bless all my co-workers. Today I'm going to go home and give thanks for my family. The more we align with the energy of love consciously, the more we go to nature and we hug the tree and we thank it. That tree is receiving love and spreading it through all the system of trees that we have in the planet. So you are being a vessel of this light. There's not other thing but love coming into you so that you can spread it through the planet. If you are a vessel of love, but there's still things that are going to be clear, that need to be clear or healed, those are the situations you're going to see arising this summer in your experience. So you can, again, go into, oh my God, what is happening to me? Or you can step in superhero mode. Get that heroine out. Tap into your power and say, what is the purpose of this experience? What is the purpose of this experience? And it's like that beautiful image. Oh, this is wonderful. I am an angelic channeler, so they're all here with me. So I'm getting that image of Jacob fighting with the angel all night, saying, okay, I am not letting you go until you give me your blessing.
Yeah.
So that is kind of like an analogy of the fight we have inside with our emotions, with our thoughts, with our fears.
And we actually don't let it go until we have what we need. It stays
Exactly.
with us. Many incarnations is necessary until we
Mhm.
get what we need from that experience.
Exactly. And we need to fight it until we see the blessing. If it's still in pain, you're not being blessed. You're holding on to your ego and saying, no, it's okay. I'm in pain here. Just sit on me. It's like, no. It's kind of like Jacob knew that he was as powerful as the angel.
Wow.
So he could fight an angel. When you are in a situation where you feel disempowered, then you run for the hills. When you can face your fears, when you can face a change of jobs or going from your job into your mission because you know you came to this planet to do something significant, when you know that that financial situation is not your truth and you have some idea of how to fix it, then go for it, fight it, get the gift of the experience, because what's waiting for you on the other side of that bridge is God. What's waiting for you on the other side of that relationship struggle is love. What's on the other side of the bridge of scarcity is abundance and prosperity. But nobody's going to walk the bridge for you. You need to take on the journey, what Joseph Campbell used to call the hero's journey, and understand that. And please take a note, my people. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. So when there is that emotion of fear that we used to run from because it's like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that situation, that person, those finances, or that job. When you go through that, well, my friend, that's the path of the soul. You'll
I love it.
at the
As
end of the day.
I heard once that we come here to play hide and seek with God, or however you want to call him or her,
Mhm.
either that the swords or the
Of course,
energy.
yeah.
And him being the best player, he knows where to hide and he hides where he knows you're not gonna go find him.
Inside.
I see you with your deck of cards. Are you planning on giving
Yes.
us something today?
Gabriel saying, me, I want to say something.
Raise your hand.
Yeah. Besides being an ascension coach, I'm also an angelic connector. And
Can you tell us a little bit what an angelic connector is and
well,
how
in
that happened to you? Because I'm guessing
oh
that you didn't have a choice, like that chose you, right?
no, you always have a choice.
You do? Wow.
Always. Part of
That's
the human condition is free will.
hmm, love it.
Yes, yes. But that's when releasing your will to the divine becomes your
Surrender.
surrender is the ultimate power. It's amazing because we are so afraid of losing control that what we don't understand, again, that's the cave you need to enter.
That's the door you haven't flipped yet.
Let it go. So many years ago, I think it was 1998, my mother gave me a book called Angels Speak. And in that book, I read that angels speak to you. And I started laughing. And I said, oh, all right, let's ask for a couple of things to see what happens here. And the next day, 2 of the 3 things that I had asked for manifested. And I learned respect. Put it that way.
Like these people's not joking.
It's television, but I also had like, yeah, get yourself together and understand that something bigger than you in play. So this beautiful being in here, Archangel Gabriel, was the first one that came to my energy and spoke to me because I'm a writer and a communicator and an artist from a very early age. And I started studying about the angels, reading about them, understanding that they do communicate with people as long as people give them permission because they need to honor your free will. So if you say, no, I don't want to receive messages, you won't receive any messages. But if you're open to receiving messages from the universe, then bam, let there be light. This is the information you will get. Anytime you ask, you receive guidance. And that's part of the reason also that we sometimes feel disconnected from God, because we were taught to pray and wait and wait and wait to see if we could receive an answer. Well, God is energy and vibration. And if you want to receive that response
You have
immediately.
to pick up the phone.
You need to raise your vibration and speak source. You need to speak energy. These are fields of energy. We see it here as a beautiful being with wings, but these are fields of energy. What happens?
Can I ask a question? I
Sure.
always like to do it because you have your representation of what it means to you, and I understand that is your way of honoring their presence. But actually, when you are in communication with them, do you do how is your perception of them? I understand they are source of energy. They are a vibration, just the same way a vibration comes through your phone, but in a much higher eternal power. How do you know when it's them? Like, do you hear them? I've met people
Awesome
that can
question.
hear them, see them, feel them.
Awesome question. You will receive every angel through any of your senses, including your sixth sense. So the moment that you open yourself to receive, they're going to manifest in different ways. For example, Gabriel speaks to me. So I developed clairaudience. That was the first intuitive gift that I developed to be able to understand what he was trying to tell me. After that, you keep expanding. So now, for example, when I need to speak to Archangel Raziel, who is the wisdom of God, he puts ideas in my mind. That is clear cognizance.
How do you see the difference? I'm sorry to interrupt you. How do you know the difference between the ideas or the words that are coming through you from their source? How do you tell them apart from your own ideas?
Oh, wow. Okay, let me finish the first question and let me take
Okay.
one because
Okay.
this is awesome.
I'm just so curious. I'm
That is
curious.
the process, but yeah, that's amazing. I have a trick for that too. So basically, Archangel Metatron is a higher frequency, and he comes as heat sometimes, or he comes also as geometry, sacred geometry. Archangel Michael literally is this field of energy that feels like a statue of 30 feet in front of you. Archangel Orion and Archangel Uriel, the light of God. Orion is miracles. They come as light. So they're very difficult to sort of like perceive that they're here. Like just before the interview began, Uriel showed up, and the way he let me know he was here was he gave me a really high pitch in my ear. And that's how I connected that he was here. Sometimes a presence comes and you get goosebumps. Okay, so what you're feeling is energy coming in. So one thing that we have is the power to say, I don't understand you. You need to come to me in a way that I can understand. So part of what happens is a dialogue where you can tell the angel, the guide, whoever is coming to you, to manifest in a way that you can clearly understand who they are. So there is a dialogue always. There is a
Some sort of negotiation. I love
yes,
it.
yes, yes. So how do I distinguish my thoughts from their thoughts? What happens is like literally there are two lines of energy here, them and me. The more I give permission for them to get closer, the more I balance my frequency to think like God, they're God in form here, the more we start thinking in the same line. And as you release your will, this is what happens. And for me to shift from my consciousness of I am being Diani to my consciousness of I am a member of the team, we're all here, I need to take a deep breath, tune into what they're trying to tell me, and then I deliver the message. So it takes a little bit of slowing down so that my mind, my energy, my human perspective can shift into this place. And then we become one. Because part of what happens is, and this is the most important thing that I want to leave you all as a gift, you have to stop thinking you're not good enough to be an archangel, to be an ascended master, to be in a conversation with Jeshua. And that's the last message that I want to bring. Is here. I also channel Master Jesus. So part of what we do is we give our will to the divine and say, I want to be also a part of this team. And the moment you release your will, everything that is the kingdom comes given to you. Okay? Was that clear?
Yes, it was. Thank you for
Do we
thank you. It was very clear. It was very explanatory. I think all my doubts are gone.
do we have a plan now? Ooh, releasing our will for the summer, allowing the light to come in. Okay, let's see what Archangel Gabriel has for us today as a message for our audiences. This is a gift I want to share. And then we will, of course. Okay. Open your heart to love is the message that he is giving us now. Open your heart to love. And how is this relevant to what we are experiencing right now? The light that is coming into the planet is anchoring in your heart. It's not anchoring in your brain. It's not anchoring in your liver. It's not anchoring in your feet. It's anchoring in your heart. Why? Because everything that is love in this universe wants you to be in this absolute connection with source, where all there is in your life is love, where you need to open your heart. You need to allow, you need to give permission for this light that brings all this information about love and the things that you need to heal to love yourself to come in. So what is the last message that we have today? Jeshua, in a recent channeling, mentioned that to be able to work with this summer solstice and bringing it all together, we can invoke by saying the words, I am light. It's kind of like I am calling in the light to come into my heart. And as I invoke and I say, I am light, then when I say the words, let there be light, I am activating the code of light to actually become one with me. So throughout this summer, as you're going through the experiences that we're having, and the eye openings and the veils lifting and the situations coming to help you in this awakening, you can use these words. I am light, to remember the true nature of who you are. And then you can say, let there be light. So that light goes to the place in your body, whether it's your mind, your heart, your beliefs, wherever you need to bring information, enlightenment, clarity to whatever aspect needs to be healed for you to become whole, perfect, whole, and complete. Because once you are perfect, whole, and complete, who are you, Myrna?
I'm sorry?
Once you are perfect, whole, and complete, who are you?
I have no idea.
You are God.
Okay. Okay.
So we are in the process of becoming one with the divine. The Father and I are one. Jesus brought this message 2,000 years ago. And we have spent 2,000 years saying, no, we're not. No, I'm not. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, that's too much responsibility. Oh, are you kidding me? I cannot, Yes, you're the creator. You are right now the creator of your experience. So as you allow all these qualities of the divine in you by affirming, yes, I am the creator, then the life that you create for yourself becomes the kingdom.
I love it. I love what one of the things that calls my attention more than anything is that you're saying that's not too much responsibility. Like we are really scared of, or we're really lazy of assuming that our responsibility is so big, and we'd rather put in blame on everybody else than actually assuming that we are creating and that we're bringing up on ourselves everything that is happening around us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's so simple as just opening your heart to love, and then you're going to have so much that you're going to want to share. And that is done through service in mission. Wherever you go, when you spread this love, you're in mission. You are in oneness. You are in alignment. You are the divine vessel of the divine.
That's beautiful.
It's very
So
simple.
yeah, well, exactly. It sounds very simple, and there is a very recurrent question that I always ask is like, we learn, we read, we see, we listen, audiobooks and whatnot, but what is that is actually preventing us from switching, from learning here to understanding, to digesting actually the ideas of our power and our capability of healing and actually living in the Happy
If you,
dream.
if you allow me for a second, I'm going to bring in my special guest.
Okay.
Pastor Jesus would like to answer that question. Give me a second, please. Greetings, beloveds. We are so happy to join in. We are so thrilled for this invitation. And all we have to say is that you have forgotten your greatness. As you remember your greatness, you will also feel, you will have the feeling you were asking from here to here. How does that work? The feeling of your greatness is going to help you remember who you are. Knowing that as you speak lovingly about yourself, when you praise your gifts, when you talk about the wonderful things that you have accomplished in a life, then at that given moment, as you remember your greatness, you're honoring both who you are and the divine. So it's a matter of releasing the thoughts that sabotage your greatness so that your greatness can rise. Because you are like me. You are divine energy in a human body with all the powers that I modeled for you. Just receive and allow this love that we are, that then will translate into all the magnificent experience you wish to manifest in your physical life, because they're already here. It's just a matter of letting them become a reality in the physical, because we already have here all your dreams and all your desires and all your power, and we're just waiting for you to give us permission to bring it all in. Blessings. Thank you. Let there be light.
Thank you.
Whew, okay. That was the boss.
Thank you, truly. Thank you
He's
for sharing
laughing.
that with
It's
us.
like, no. We're a team. There are no bosses there.
Wow.
That's a 3D invention.
Very 3D. The hierarchy and
Yeah.
that. Thank you,
We're all one. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come through, and thank you, Joshua, for that beautiful message.
Thank you. And how can our audience find you, Dianiluz, as we wrap up this wonderful conversation? How can we find you?
Thank you. I am on Facebook. You can also follow me on Instagram. On Facebook is Coach Dianiluz. My fan page is Coach Dianiluz Cora. Dianiluz Cora also, my personal page. And if you would like to write to me about all the magnificent work that we do and the things that you can experience, or if you have any questions, I'd love to answer questions for people, because that's a part of how we help. Coach Dianiluz@gmail.com.
Thank you so much. Once
Thank you.
again, thank you for allowing Mindalia being a channel for your wisdom, for your ideas, and for all the magnificent work that you do being a worker of the light. And to
Thank you.
our audience, also, thank you for being with us, for liking, subscribing, for going to our different platforms, Mindalia TV, Mindalia Televisao, and Mindalia TV English, Mindalia Televisión. We have 3 channels, Spanish, Portuguese, and English. We also invite you to go to our Facebook pages and Instagram accounts to like, to subscribe, because with that, you are not only helping us reach as much people in the planet as possible, but you're also keeping yourself updated with the amazing information we share there on a daily basis. We're sending you a very, very big hug from our heart to yours. And once again, happy summer solstice.
Happy summer solstice. Let there be light.
Let there be light. Thank you again. And until next time, bye bye.